Hello friends, this is Big Daddy Cash. I'm back again with a short story. I hope you'll enjoy it. It's about my first lady, the one that's lives up in heaven now, at the doggy's heaven. And I sent away to St. Peter to get Lady to come down and stay with me for a week. And while she's here, she's going to tell her story. Okay, Lady, go ahead.
My name is Lady, and I'm a big black lab. I'm not really that big. I was the run of the litter. I guess for a lab I'm small, but I think I'm pretty big. Cass brought me back from the other side so that I could tell you my story. He's always doing things like that, and that's one of the reasons that I love him so. Well, for a dog, I never was treated like one. I have a very good memory. I can take you all the way back to when I first became part of Cass's life. My brothers and sisters were from the highest pedigree line of purebred animals, and they were raised to be show dogs. Unfortunate for me, I was a runt, so I didn't belong. My breeders were going to have me put away, and I remember that day. I remember it well. I wanted to live. They had already called a veterinarian, and he was going to euthanize me, whatever that is. Anyway, it sure didn't sound good. Well, my breeders were on their way out the door with me in a cage when they ran into a neighbor who told them that a guy down the street who had just lost a companion, a dog named Brock. They decided to see if he would take me. You don't know how happy this made me. My heart was thumping, my tail was wagging as they knocked on Cass's front door. But my world came to an end when Cass told them they didn't want me, that the loss of Brock was so hard to take he didn't want to get that close to another living thing. Well, they said, that's okay, we have an appointment to have her put away. Cass's reply was, you can't do that, I'll find her a home. Oh, thank God, I found me a home. I would make Cass love me so much that he'd never give me away. And that's when I became Cass's very best friend and constant companion. My first real home was on Roosevelt Street in a small suburb in Sugar House. Boy, was I a lucky dog. Cass and I took to each other right off the bit-bat, and that's the truth. My new home was really nice and cozy. Cass gave me the run of the whole house, and it was lots of fun exploring through the closets and under the beds, and sometimes I'd find the neatest things to chew on or take outside and bury. I remember once finding a real nice boot underneath the bed, and I assumed that Cass had left it there for me to play with. So while he was away, I chewed on it the biggest part of the day. Wow, they say that only dogs get mad and people get angry? That's not true. Cass really totaled out. Gosh, I never heard so many new words, and he ranted and raved for days. He said all his life he wanted Tony llamas, so he finally bought a pair, and now he only had the left one to wear. He was so angry that I thought he would never get glad. I knew I had done wrong, and I really was sad, but Cass finally got over it, and then I was glad. Cass said many times that no dog would ever measure up to his Brock, so my greatest desire was to prove him wrong. I wanted to be the best I could be so my master Cass would really love me. I remember one time when I pooped underneath the living room table and Cass scolded me and put me outside for the longest time. Then there was another time when I pooped in a shoe. This I have to tell you. It's really funny. There was this salesman that Cass knew that was really obnoxious. When he visited us, he would take off his shoes and put them alongside the couch, and they would stink up the whole house. Well, I had to go really bad, and there was these shoes that smelled just like shit, so I plopped a good one right into one. Wait a minute, I'm not through yet. I'm still just getting around to the best part. This guy got ready to put on his shoes, And you should have seen the funny look on his face when the poop oozed up around the top of his shoes. Cass laughed so hard that he rolled on the floor, and that guy never came back to our house anymore. When I was little, I was always doing things that would upset Cass. No, I didn't do them on purpose. I want you to know that. And I think it was just the puppy in me. Another thing I want you to know is that when I did things bad, Cass never hit me. But could he ever give a French blessing? And sometimes they'd last for days. It took me about a year before I grew out of my mischievous ways, and we both managed to survive. I grew to love my master, Cass, more and more each day. I wanted him to be proud of me and love me in the same way. I tried real hard to learn and do all the things I could do that would please him. Well, Cass says I gotta make more than one part, so we'll make this one part number 1. Woof, woof, woof. I go woof. Okay, we'll be back with part number 2 in our next video. Thanks for joining us.